marlin are top predators. They'll pretty much eat anything they can catch, and being one of the fastest fish in the world, they can catch pretty much anything. But because they don't have big teeth like a shark or a wahoo or a barracuda, they gotta swallow what they eat whole. Today, Team Sport Fishing TV heads for the azure waters offshore of Grand Cayman Island. Join us for a special edition. We tag and film blue marlin in my home waters. You won't believe where these amazing creatures travel.
Oh my God!
Our Grand Cayman blue marlin tagging expeditions begin as my son Alex and I climb aboard the Raging Bull. Hey Captain Eugene. Morning guys. Hey Steve. How are you?
Good to see you, sir.
Thank you so much for having us on board today. This is a highly experienced local fishing team, captained by Eugenie Banks, one of Grand Cayman's most respected charter guides. In the cockpit, Charles Banks, the product of generations of local fishermen, prepares for a day of trolling. This one's done about 10,000 miles. You can see it's got no eyes, a lot of billfish bites. All right, looking good. Today we're going to troll down to the bank. It's about 10 miles from here. And we follow a ridge that's about 1,200, 1,400 feet. Drops off, it gets really deep. We're going to fish around the edge of that bank today. Captain Eugene, you've been charter fishing in Cayman for about 35 years as far as I know, maybe longer than anybody else. What's the best time of year to go blue marlin fishing here?
With my experience of it, May, June, July is the best time.
And, you know, it has to be said, of course, you can catch a blue marlin here in any month of the year. I've proven that.
Oh, yeah. We catch blue marlin year-round.
I don't know any other country in the world where you run for about 4 minutes, 5 minutes before you put out the lures.
Yeah, the proximity of the fishing grounds to the shore is unbelievable.
What kind of a spread are you running today for blue marlin?
We got 4 Penn International 50s, and we always carry an 80 down the center line. We go prepared.
We do have pop-up satellite tags with us today, and if we catch a blue marlin, we're going to put a tag in that, maybe.
Absolutely.
Got a bait. Slow down. We snagged a few small yellowfin tuna over the bank, which make fantastic marlin baits. You want to put him on a circle hook? So we quickly switched gears, bridled up the tuna, and began to slow troll them around the hot corner of the 12-mile bank. All right, we're going to live bait this baby. If there's a blue marlin home, they can't resist. Ready? This corner of the bank here is very productive. Doesn't seem to really matter which way the current's going. Obviously, it's better if it's coming from the east. The bait stacks up here. But even when it's coming from the northwest, as it is today, you get fish around here. So we're gonna stick around for a bit and see what we can get. The tunas are here. There are going to be marlins here too.
There he is! Let's go, blue marlin! Right here! Let's go!
Where'd he go? Nice fish too.
Nice fish, huh?
Yeah. Well, as far as marlin fishing goes, some days it's red hot, and some days it's just not. Great boat, awesome crew, juicy live baits, but no fish. Coming up, the seas lay down and the marlin bite heats up. I'm just putting a tag on the tag pole here, in case we get lucky with this fish.
Sport Fishing Television is brought to you by Yellowfin, the choice of champions. by the new Simrad NSS touchscreen display. By Yeti coolers, wildly stronger, keep ice longer. By Pen, let the battle begin. And by Spiderwire, nothing gets away.
Thank you. Excitement is high as my son Alex and I head out for another chance to catch and tag blue marlin as part of my ongoing research at the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. Also joining us is a good friend and angler, Andy Marcher, as a hit and run points a bow toward the blue water. Darren, I want to show you this pop-up satellite archival tag. We call them PAT or PSAT. It's a mini computer inside a casing with a flotation component that we attach to the back of large pelagic animals, and in this case we're attaching it to blue marlin. And after a predetermined time, the whole tag floats to the surface and then transmits all the data that it's collected to a waiting satellite. This mini computer collects data about depth, water temperature, and about luminescence. And from luminescence you get an idea of where the fish is. You match all these different things together because GPS doesn't work underwater. What we want to know is how the marlin use the water column, and of course where they go after they leave Cayman. Tag on the tag pole here, just in case we get lucky with this fish. Andy does his job properly.
Very exciting stuff. I love it. Beautiful day, beautiful fish, good tag. Doesn't get any better than that.
When we get him up, Glenn's going to go easy on the wire, and we're going to baby the fish because we want that tag in the right spot. After the fish do all that surface jumping, they exhaust themselves and then go down. They can go down 200, 300, 400 feet to cool out into cooler water. Now it's just a matter of the angler pulling them back up because the fish are pretty tired by now. He's getting real good line now. That means he's turned the marlin's head and the marlin is swimming up toward the surface. Kick it in and out, neutral. Don't let him take off too much line here. Perfect, perfect. Little blue marlin. Easy, easy, easy. Back off your drag, okay, a little bit. Wrap it. Wrap it. Okay, all right. All right. Hold him. Okay, let him out a bit now. Andy hangs onto the fish to allow it a chance to revive. While the blue marlin gets his oxygen back, I strap on my own can of air and prepare to plunge in to witness and film the release. I take full advantage of these opportunities to gather inspiration for both my artwork and my science. Okay, take him out now. Take the hook out and let him go. You got it? Yeah. As I often do, I approach the marlin with caution and give it a hand finding its bearings. This one-on-one experience in the marlin's world never gets old. And and as I watch it swim away, I continue to marvel at the great distances these nomads travel. There are so many questions still to be answered, but with the technology we now have, the learning curve has decreased at an exponential rate. Yeah, fish went off okay. No, well done. Awesome, Darren. Thank you very much, man. That Cayman, it's great. Let's go catch another one. When we come back, Alex gets on a marlin, and another tagging opportunity presents itself.
All sportsmen benefit from a healthy fish population. Even with the best tackle and the finest fishing machine available, if the fish aren't there, you're coming home empty-handed. Credit the many individuals and organizations that have raised awareness about marine conservation. Thankfully, most game fish are released alive these days. One sure way to make certain that your trophy catch is still there to be caught more than once. And credit release mount producer King Sailfish Mounts for being the first to introduce the release mount concept on a large scale. For decades, nearly every sailfish mount produced was based on a dead fish. These days, nearly every mounted marine fish, including sailfish, is based on a release. To salute the catch and release sportsman, King Sailfish now offers a really neat item on their website, kingsailfishmounts.com. It's a release certificate that you can get online free of charge. Just fill in the specific details of your catch, such as the size and date, then download, print, and frame. Designed by marine artist Raymond Douglas, you can choose from saltwater, freshwater, or several other designs. Always do your part and practice catch and release.
We're back on the 12-mile bank with another of Grand Cayman's top charter boats.
Right.
There you go, a little bit more. Right in there, Glenn, yeah. Perfect.
Fish bit right on the northeast corner of the bank. Saw him free jumping first. Came in very hot.
My son Alex has many marlin under his belt and prefers stand-up fighting. This tag is activated if we catch this marlin and it's in good enough condition. We'll put this $3,500 tag in it and find out where it went. Coming right up, so let's go faster. Let's go.
Yeah, this fish is going. If we're going where he's going,
He's gonna have to swim hard.
you know, I can't force this fish into a slow circle. He wants to go.
I see that Alex has this fish well under control, so I decide to jump in early in these fantastic oceanic conditions. Alex, you doing all right? Yeah. What's the fish doing? The water is crystal clear and the sea's dead calm, so I hatch a plan.
You know what? I can probably tag him underwater.
Swimming with a hook blue marlin or any billfish can be risky business, but rest assured, the fish has no intention of spearing me. I carefully approach from behind and beside and draw a bead on the tough, muscular area just under the dorsal fin. That's marlin fishing in the Cayman Islands for you.
Great marlin fishing.
The healthy marlin swims off on its never-ending oceanic journey, carrying a very important piece of technology. We as a species have so much yet to learn about conserving all our ocean's resources. There's not very much left on this planet that hasn't been overexploited by humans as the population continues to grow, continues to extract all kinds of marine resources. So what drives me is this the impending doom that we're facing and how we can correct this. And we do know that marine ecosystems are very resilient and they will recover if we give them a chance. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation is about funding inspired scientific research and innovative educational programs to encourage conservation and best management practices for sustainable marine environments. A lot of people ask me, what is the biggest single factor that faces marine creatures nowadays? And I say, it's the growth of the human population. The constant demand that we put on all kinds of marine resources, from sea urchins to bait fish to tunas to sharks. It's a never-ending story of consumption. And that has to be better managed. There's got to be better controls. There are fishing options that are sustainable, but the overexploitation has to come to an end. Up next, a look into the conservation-minded Cayman Islands International Fishing Tournament. And we divulge the incredible 6-month journeys of our 2 tagged blue marlin.
Sport Fishing Television has been brought to you by Ex Officio Clothing and Gear, made to adventure. By Mercury Marine. By Key West, close to perfect, far from normal. By King Sailfish Mounts, offering a full selection of world-class release mounts. And by Power Pole Shallow Water Anchor, swift, silent, secure.
As a member of the Cayman Islands Angling Club, my friend Franklin Thompson has put together one of my favorite tournaments in the world, right here in my own backyard.
The big tournament that we have in Cayman Islands is held every spring. It's titled the Cayman Islands International Fishing Tournament. The categories are boats 26 feet and under and boats over 26 feet. So we like to cater to the local individuals with the smaller boats as well as those that want to travel from abroad with the 50 and 60 plus footers. The facilities on the island are top notch. Cayman is a good spot for boats to stop in when they're traveling south from the US down to Central America or when they're returning to North America. The tournament started in the early 80s as $1 Million Month. It ran for the entire month of June. The tournament evolved, and in 1997, the Cayman Islands International Fishing Tournament was born. The 4 days of fishing and the low entry fee makes it accessible to a lot of anglers. In previous years, we've had anglers from Europe, from countries as far away as Serbia. We've had a lot of Canadian anglers, some from Central America, some from neighboring islands such as Jamaica. Obviously, a lot of anglers from the southern US. We have over $200,000 in cash and prizes, and we also run an optional jackpot with a $5,000 buy-in, and the jackpot is targeted at the billfish since we have such an abundance of small billfish around the island. The minimum weight on the billfish is 587 pounds. Everything under 587 has to be released. So the tournament is all about conservation and preservation of our marine resources, and we like to do everything as possible to promote conservation within all of our events.
As an artist focused on painting oceanic creatures, a documentary filmmaker addressing many of our current challenges related to sustainable fishing practices, a biologist, and an avid fisherman, my life is dedicated to preserving our ocean resources for future generations. Research and education are the conduits through which we make these effective strides. When you see the journey Andy's tagged marlin took, it makes you realize how much we still have to learn. What drives these fish? Why do they go where they go? How do they navigate? Where do they breed? And what do they eat? Incredibly, this marlin traveled some 7,000 miles in 6 months. The tag popped off near Isla Morada in the Florida Keys, where it then transmitted all its data. Alex's marlin took a completely different trek. After wandering all over the ocean, it eventually headed south, deep into the South Caribbean, not once, but twice. Through the use of these PSAT tags, we are learning so much more about marlin and other species, where the animal travels, to what depths they dive, and how often they do so. But we have a long way to go.
If you'd like to experience the great fishing around Grand Cayman Island, contact Bayside Water Sports. Their boats and crews are on their game. The sport fishing TV crew stayed at the Westin Casuarina Resort and Spa, located right on the famed 7 Mile Beach. It truly is a plush home away from home. And of course, we're always grateful to Raymond Douglas at King Sailfish Mounts for providing the closed captioning that allows our hearing impaired viewers to enjoy the show. Few places on Earth are as beautiful as Antigua. Join Marlin Magazine's Dave Farrell as SFTV travels to this island paradise in search of some back-breaking, reel-screaming offshore excitement.